Hi, I'm Craig. I'm the Equipment Officer at Waipuna Hospice, and we're showing you today on how we instruct patients and their families to use the beds in their own homes, our community beds. So, starting at the bottom with our wheels and our brakes. When the bed is in position, we want the wheels turned inwards like so, so that when you're working around the bed, you're not going to catch your toes on them, and simply lock the brakes on like so. Moving up to the side rails here, they simply lift and they'll click into place, like so. And right down at this very end here, you'll see a button which you push while just pushing that side rail back into place to get that down again. And then of course it's on both sides. So the functions of the bed itself. The controller here shows you the buttons up and buttons down to raise and lower the equipment. So at the very top here we have the head raiser, and the button below that is the knee raiser. So if you have a patient who likes sitting up for a majority of the time, we certainly recommend that you use the knee raiser at the same time. So that creates a pocket in the middle here, so that the patient's less likely to slide down towards the end of the bed all the time and you're having to reposition them. So use those two together, and the next button here is the lifting of the whole bed itself. So this is possibly the most important of the buttons because it aids the patient, but it aids the family as well, because we want you to be able to get the patient up to a height that's good for your back. So there is no lifting, and it's much easier on you and it's easier on the patient as well. So I'm going to put these back down now so we have a flat bed, and goes the head and the knees. And we're going to talk about this air mattresses that we have on the beds are the alternating air mattresses. And you can see from here that there's a series of cells that have inflated. And every 8 to 10 minutes they do alternate. So the ones that are up here will go down and the ones next to them will go up. So this means that the patient doesn't have pressure on any area of the back for longer than 8 to 10 minutes of the time at a time, therefore preventing pressure injuries. To and from the mattress is controlled by the pump here. There are two settings on the pump, low and high. So low is for patients 100 kgs or less, and high for above that figure. The power to and from the mattress can be turned on and off here at this switch. There are two things to watch for mainly, and they will be shown to you on the troubleshooting sheet which we have here. The first of those issues is sometimes there's a loss of power to the unit, and that can be caused by somebody working around the bed and accidentally pulling the cord loose, or there being a power cut. But if there is a loss of power to the unit, you will get this little light coming up here on the pump. So the C light flashes and you're getting this alarm sound there. So just push the mute button on the pump and then refer to the sheet which you'll have in your Waipuna Hospice folder. So if we come to the sheet here and we see that the C light's flashing, it's going to tell you that there's a mains failure, and it'll run through a series of ways in which you can get the power back to the pump. In the case of a power cut, the mattress will still stay inflated, the patient is quite safe, and when the power comes back on, the light will go off and the pump will be operating again. So the other thing to watch for is the free flow of air to and from the pump at all times. So to avoid the pump, the air being blocked, just make sure when you're making the bed to work around the blue cord which feeds the air to and from the mattress. If the cord gets tucked under by mistake, then it's going to be kinked and you will get another alarm happening on the pump here, which will be the B alarm, and that will again run through a series of things which you can do to get the mattress operating properly. Finally, when making the bed, we don't want any thick underlays or electric blankets on here, so that the mattress is able to do what it's trying to do for your patient. So when we're making the bed, we just want a sheet on there, and then if you've been issued with one of the Kylies, that will go over the abdomen. So sheet, Kylie, and then the patient on top of that. You can put whatever blankets you like on top of there to keep your patient warm. So if you have any issues with our bed or our mattress, just look in your Waipuna Hospice folder and call our number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'll try to assist as best they can. Thanks.